So welcome back to DecoyNoise and another episode of Am I the Antagonist? And am I the antagonist for saying that my roommate's all-natural hair took her 3 hours to do? So in the crazy year that is 2020, I want to make sure that you guys are getting at least 2 breaks a day by subscribing to DecoyNoise. I'm going to remind you every 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time to chill out, take a break, and just watch me judge some strangers online. So let's just go ahead and get to this thread right now. My roommate had a FaceTime date with her boyfriend last night, so the night before, she spent some time getting dolled up. She has really long, thick hair that she wears in a few plaits most of the time. I've only seen her hair in a froey or curly look a handful of times. She spent like 3 hours doing her hair. It turned out very cool and reminded me of SZA's hair. She's a singer if you don't know. First, she FaceTimed her boyfriend and they chatted for a while I overheard her tell her that her hair was all natural when he complimented it, and I laughed about it when I was going to my room. I noticed that she looked at me funny. Then she posted pics on Instagram, again telling everyone that it was her all natural hair, and she had tons of girls in the comments wishing for her hair and feeling insecure. I put in the comments, natural or hours and hours of work? I think the latter. She called me a hater and told me to hop off her Instagram. I wrote back in the comments section that she should be real with people instead of giving them a false image about what's natural. Her natural hair's up into one big clump when she leaves it in the shower. It doesn't look like this. She blocked me from her Instagram, and I kept getting nasty messages from one of her followers, or from some of her followers, calling me a hater, calling me racist names and other stuff. I tried to explain to her in person where I'm coming from, but she's just ignoring me. Am I the antagonist for pointing out that she's lying to people about what she actually looks like? So we're going to go ahead and take this to Decoy Court, where I give you my knee-jerk reaction. We'll go over some top comments, some controversial comments, and your comments down below, and then we'll do some decoy deliberation in the comment section where we figure out who the true antagonist is and what the theoretical punishment should be for them. So I guess first off right here, I understand that I have a lot of free time now, but why does OP have enough free time to actually time how long it takes her roommate to do her hair, eavesdrop on her FaceTime dates, stalk her Instagram, then leave snarky posts, and then get replies and leave more snarky posts? Like, you have a lot of free time to kind of be a jerk. And the thing is always, okay, so in OP's defense, I get it where they think that all natural to some people, it means just like how you naturally wake up, like, oh yeah, that's natural, like this is whatever it is, and this is how it is. But I'm willing to bet that her roommate is black or of an ethnicity that has naturally coarse and curly hair, and where they say if they have natural hair, it just means that they don't have like a weave or they're not using chemical straighteners. And it's not, you know, it is somewhat common knowledge we have different hairs, but honestly, like, my high school girlfriend was black, and just the amount of information that I learned from that, like, I had no idea that our hair was so much different. Like, the idea that she had those thin braids, and when she took them out, I was like, wait, I didn't realize your hair was like the size of like a bob. It was actually like, you know, her braids went all the way down. I didn't realize that wasn't her hair, it was something else. And the idea that, you know, what was that? When I was younger, I was asking something like, oh yeah, you want to hang out on a Friday night? And she's like, oh no, I'm braiding my hair on Friday. And I'm like, to me, braiding your hair is like, what, 20 minutes time max? I didn't realize it was a whole day affair where she's bringing in like her mother, her sister, and her auntie, and they're all sitting together watching like 4 DVDs all in succession while they all like help braid her hair because it's a day-long affair. And it's just the idea that it's like, you can be just blissfully ignorant, like I didn't know about the situation, or you can be maliciously ignorant, where she's sitting there like she doesn't understand probably that, like, you know, the braiding situation takes a long period of time. So she's like, I don't know anything about the way you do, like how you take care of your hair and what you do to classify your hair, but I'm going to be really mean about it online. Like, what a nasty way to live. And just the idea that it's just, you know, why not take this as a time to kind of learn about something? Like, I honestly didn't even know like the difference between my hair, my ex-girlfriend's hair, and like how it was different from my parents' hair. Like, as most of the like my followers on the YouTube channel know that it's like, yeah, I'm Korean, but my parents are Irish, and I have no idea how my hair is like this wavy. But I didn't even realize that like my hair care was different than my adoptive parents' hair care. Like, without Reddit, I wouldn't have known. So why is she automatically defaulting to being mean about it? And second of all, why does she have so much free time to be mean about it? So we're gonna go ahead and say in Decoy Court, not that, this, you're the antagonist. Oh my god, I can't believe how much you are the antagonist because you're being maliciously ignorant to the situation. But like as always, take a short break, give me your feedback down below, pause the video, and earn yourself that Decoy coin, because it's not worth anything right now, but it may be worth something later on. So let's go ahead and go to those top comments right now. So the top comment is your roommate black? Black women often refer to their hair as natural, even when it's styled, because many black women wear a wig or a weave or have their hair chemically processed. Oh my god, and that's exactly what I was saying. Some white women use their hair extension also say the same thing. Natural does not mean I woke up like this. Either way, you're the antagonist. You crapped on her in public when you should have just kept scrolling. And edit, hijacking my own comment just to put some education out there for any white people who might be confused about black hair. I am a black woman. In the black community, natural means that the hair on your head is the hair that grows out of your follicles. Natural hair might be braided or styled, but we still call it natural. Almost no black people have naturally straight hair. The black people on TV with straight hair are either wearing a wig, lace front wigs that blend with the hairline look almost identical to real hair. 2. Have their hair chemically straightened using a relaxer. This was very popular in the 90s, but has fallen out of fashion because it's incredibly damaging. Have weave synthetic hair in their natural hair. A weave is a type of hair extension. I don't really want to crap on anyone because I know this is confusing, but I felt the need to write this all out because hair is really important to us. I can see how someone who only needs to brush their hair would consider braiding / using product to be unnatural, but that's not what it means to black people. A lot of black women would consider comments like yours to be ignorant at best and borderline racist at worst. Edit 2. Well, I'm really blown away about all the nice comments and awards this post has been given. It makes me really happy to see that I spent a little time today helping people learn something new. Please feel free to keep the questions coming in the DMs if you have them. And this is the way you should respond to something that you don't know, where it's like, hey, why, like, you know, if they're roommates, like the other post we were talking about, like the boyfriend and the girlfriend, why are you trying to score points on the same team? Like, you guys are together paying the rent. Like, if you give her so much emotional distress that she can't come into work tomorrow and she's like, you know, breaking down because you're so mean online, you may or may not be able to pay your rent next month. So you guys are on the same team. You guys should be like buddies at this point in time. I don't understand roommates sometimes aren't friends, but just the idea that this right here is like, you're scoring points on her by leaving like snarky comments on her Instagram, trying to like tear her down for her self-image, even right or wrong. But just the idea that if you didn't know, maybe you talk to him in person, like, hey, why are you trying to tell people that are like insecure about their image online that's your natural hair? I've seen you take, you know, several hours on your hair, like doing it up. And then she could have learned something like this. She could have gone through this post right here and learned all the different ways that, like, you know, people damage their hair so they want to become natural hair. And if it's just, you know, it takes them a long time to, like, you know, use microfiber cloths and plopping their hair and then, you know, not using heat on it when they blow dry it or something. I obviously don't know, have this much information on it, but just the idea that it's like, it could have been a learning experience where you can become a better person at the end of it, not kind of a racist online, because that's what people are saying. So let's go ahead and look at that next reply right now. So they say, they quoted the idea that they can see someone how only they need to brush their hair, consider braiding or using product to be unnatural, and that's not what it means to black people. And the next reply was, a lot of white women feel the same. My hair is natural, but I still use a little product for my curls. It's natural because it's what my hair type is. It's not being altered. Also, you're the antagonist, OP. Your comments are kind of jerkish and out of place, which is true. And it's like, why be the antagonist when you can be just the protagonist? Why not be like the good person? Why don't you just be nice to each other? I don't understand that, but let's go ahead and read that next top reply. You're the antagonist and you have no idea what you're talking about. Natural means hair that hasn't been chemically altered, physically straightened, etc. It doesn't mean no products or no work going into it. You exposed yourself as a jealous weirdo and you deserve what you're getting. And that's what I kind of feel like that was a situation where maybe OP was sitting there like, you know, you hate to kind of make a reach, but it's like she's seeing her get together and have her hair done, have a nice little FaceTime date with a boyfriend. The boyfriend's, you know, stroking her ego, telling her, like, giving her compliments about her hair, and she's sitting there kind of like jealous about that. Then she goes online and sees that she's getting all this attention and everybody's fawning over her hair, which is like, you know, take this maybe, what, 10, 20 years ago, nobody's really complimenting that hairstyle, and all of a sudden she's looking at that like, wow, you're getting all this attention, everybody loves you. No, let me tear you down and show you why you're wrong and why you shouldn't idolize her. And it's this weird thing where it's like, yeah, you're kind of a jealous weirdo at that point in time. If you have enough free time in your day to time, oh, it takes her 3 hours to do her hair. Oh, she did it the night before her date. Oh, now the boyfriend's complimenting her. Now people online are complimenting her. Why do you have enough free time to be so negative about somebody else's life? Like, I hope that you take this newfound free time, because I'm being hypocritical by saying, how do you have enough free time when I have a lot of free time to do this video channel? But the idea is, use that free time to be positive, do something nice for yourself, make yourself better, whatever it may be, whether it's working on a new project or, you know, doing something like physical fitness for yourself, or I don't know, like learning how to draw. I don't care what it is, but it's like there's better ways to spend your time than being a jealous weirdo. But maybe I'm being a jerk right now. Let me know how much of a jerk I am by getting yourself that decoy coin by making a good comment down below. But let's go ahead and read more replies to this. The next reply says, I was already rolling my eyes by the end of the first paragraph because it was so painfully obvious what it was going to be, a white woman inserting her uneducated and unwarranted opinion on a woman of color's hair. People like this are absolutely insufferable. And here's the thing though, is there's a way where they could be ignorant to the way they do their hair and still be a nice person. They could just kind of come, like, you don't have to be walking up like hat in hand and like, oh, excuse me, sir, can you tell me more about your hair? It could just be like, hey, why are you telling everybody it's your natural hair? Like, you can do this a nice way and not be, what they're saying, insufferable. But let's go ahead and look at this next top comment. So they're saying, I'm assuming your roommate is black. Natural hair just means that you don't straighten it chemically. It doesn't mean that you don't brush or take care of your hair at all. You're the antagonist, especially for dissing her hair publicly afterwards and saying it mats up in a clump. And that's probably why she's such the antagonist, because she could have stopped it at saying, like, that's not natural. Like, you spent 3 hours on it, and it could have been a teaching moment where it's like, oh no, natural just means that we don't chemically straighten it. Not like, yo, it looks like a rat or something like that. Like, she's being mean about it. So yes, a double antagonist for that. But let's go ahead and read the next reply. So, I'm white with my hair down to my butt, and you better believe it mats up in a big clump if I don't use conditioner, and it mats up in little clumps, and even if I do use conditioner. And that would be the thing right there, is like, I wonder why they decided to attack the roommate, because obviously you can't say, like, not using, like, they can use conditioner, right? Like, so that, does that mean that it's no longer natural? Like, where do you draw the line on, like, natural? Like, only cavemen with just hair like that looks like mine right now, or people can say this is how it naturally is. Like, that's such a weird arbitrary way to draw the line on what's permissible and what's not permissible. So in a very, very risky controversial section, I'd be curious to see what people are saying in this controversial section, because those are usually the more back and forth. People just can't decide whether this is the right thing or not. Let's just go ahead and read these controversial replies, and hopefully I can censor them as we go along. So let's go ahead and say, so they put an edit, but let's go ahead and read the comment as it was originally. So this poster writes, everyone sucks here. You could have pointed out to her in person rather than embarrassing her on social media, but you're right that she shouldn't be lying on social media either. Just got to remember that there's a reason she's lying, and it's probably insecurity. And I'm sure she wasn't trying to make anyone else feel insecure with her post on purpose. And this is what I'm guessing is just another person that doesn't know how to style that particular hair, so they're just kind of ignorant. But let's go ahead and look at the edit on top. Edit. I've read through the comments and I'm going to change it to you're the antagonist. From the post, I got the impression that she altered her hair in some way and claimed it was natural. She just styled it and you put her on blast. Not cool. And that's the way you should be replying to it. Hopefully OP can read all these comments and realize they're wrong and actually go to her roommate hat in hand saying like, hey, look, this is why I thought those things. I thought that you were making people feel insecure, and maybe I was insecure about that situation before, so I thought you were perpetuating, like, you know, unattainable beauty standards by saying this is natural when it took you 4 hours to work. So someone at home is reading that post thinking, wow, I couldn't get that hairstyle if I used 4 hours of my time, so I'm less of a person. So she could probably communicate that to her in a way where it's just like, I was wrong, I'm sorry, like, you know, I was being the antagonist. Like, anybody can be humbled in any moment, and if you can be humbled and own up to your mistakes, then you're a better person for it. But I'm willing to bet that OP is not that type of person. Isn't like this person posting this thing right here where they're like, oh, okay, look, I'm changing my everyone sucks here to you're the antagonist because of new information. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that, like, you know, hopefully she can learn from this, but likely not by the way she handled the situation in the very beginning. But let's go ahead and open this next top controversial reply. You're the antagonist. Imagine openly admitting to not using products on your hair and being a greasy mess. And that's the one thing I was kind of touching on too, is the idea that where does OP draw the line between what's natural and what's not natural? Not using shampoo, only using water, or not even using water at all. Natural hair is just how it is, how it comes out of your head. That's it. Like the what is it? The equivalent of organic food, organic hair. Like nothing can touch it. No artificial pesticides, nothing like that. So I wish that there was a reply, an update on her behalf, and I'm guessing that she probably got banned off this thing. But let's go ahead and read the next top controversial reply. Well, at least you weren't married to her. You're the antagonist, but not sure if this is a real post in light of how similar it was to the previous post a while back. Like, I get that you're white, but are you also a man, or have you otherwise had hair that's too short to style? Most straight-haired women at least occasionally put product in the hair. Absolutely no one cares what you think is natural from your own white perspective. Do you know how in a dictionary there are different number definitions of the same word? A word can mean more than one thing depending on context. In context, natural means not altered by heat or chemicals. The girl that asked her what she does to her hair knows what she meant. I don't understand your logic anyway, because it's not natural to use shampoo. Your natural hair would be pretty greasy if you didn't wash it, just got wet and let it dry, wouldn't it? And I don't understand why this is the controversial reply, because it's kind of echoing the same sentiments that everybody else, sentiments? Sentiments? What's the one that's a rock and what's the one that's like something you learned? Whatever, put it in the comment section. But the idea that it's kind of saying like, hey, look, it's from your perspective, like, you know, there's different definitions for it in context, and just your context of what natural is was different from them. So it was a good learning experience. Like I say, oftentimes the comment section, controversial section, and the top section are all at a jumbled mess, because whoever gets the post first oftentimes kind of monopolizes the conversation. But like I said, the DecoyNoise YouTube comments are far better than the Reddit comments in most instances, because I feel like we're more civil with each other. You guys are nicer. Sometimes you get in little spats, but I feel like it's more of a productive conversation than what this can be sometimes. But like I always say, if you made it to the end of the video, I want to say thank you. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day, having nice little relaxing breaks where we just judge online strangers. If you haven't already, subscribe down below, turn those notifications on so I can remind you guys to, whatever you're doing, kind of hang out with me, just relax, take a deep breath, go to DecoyNoise.com, fill out some surveys, give me feedback, submit your stories as well. But if anything else, put this on autoplay and wait for the next DecoyNoise to come up next.